Happy Friday, everyone. It's Caleb Schulke. This is the Ascended Podcast, and I am so thrilled to be able to hang out with you guys one more night, as always. It's going to be a short podcast tonight, but we're going to cover something very, very important. It's going to be how the world economy is going to function. Now, if you haven't been to one of these before, understand that I'm probably going to challenge your worldview a little bit. And that's something that I do regularly. It's not to attack you. It's not to put you out of place. It's not to say that you don't belong on this podcast. In fact, if you feel threatened, if you feel questioned, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Because in that hostility, perhaps, or challenge to your environment, lies the key to change. Taking on a different perspective, wondering if yours could be questioned, could be broken, could be changed. Maybe you never change. Maybe you stay in the mindset you have forever, or maybe I just unlock something new in you. Regardless, this isn't friend versus foe. This is a joined, shared growth journey together, and I appreciate you taking your time to be here. Tonight, we're going to be covering the wake-up call. This is not going to be financial advice. It's, again, just a wake-up call from one passionate guy to, honestly, whoever's listening out there. We get different viewerships. Sometimes platforms ban me. TikTok has banned me. They love banning me, so we're making do with what we have. But the clips will be everywhere, so you can always watch this recording. Obviously, go on rumble.com/Caleb Schulke if you want to see the live recording and hop in on the action. Time is ticking. We know this. Most people have no clue. They don't know why. They're sleepwalking essentially into a financial buzzsaw. Oiled up. It's ready to go. It's hugging. They're hugging the same safer retirement, right? Like, just wait it out. Stack your pennies. Go to college. Get a good job. That playbook, it's about to get obliterated in today's times. I'm not here to be your friend tonight, as I mentioned, because I'm here to shake you. Because I actually give a damn. I truly care about what happens to you. Because I'm in the same boat you are. I'm not at the top of the mountain. I haven't made it to the millionaire point yet. I'm still climbing. And therefore, my advice should hopefully be more relevant to the position you're in. The world is changing fast, guys. And the money in your pocket is turning into monopoly paper more and more every day. The opportunities of the 2020s really already are flying by. Motion has to happen now. It has to, or you're going to be missing out, just like most people, plain and simple. It's going to be, remember, every 100 years, right? We've done this. 1820s, you had the 1825 kind of great bank runs and the banking issues, right? I think that was in 1825. Yeah. Let me look up. I want to remember the exact name of the event that I'm referencing. Bank crisis. And I did my research. The Panic of 1825, which was a major financial crisis that originated in England and had global repercussions. It was characterized by a stock market crash, a run on banks, and widespread business failures. Okay, that was 1825. Then we got to 1925, the booming 20s of the 1900s, right? What happened in the early 1930s in the US? We moved into a depression, right? And now we're in 2025, moving into the 2030s. Do you think patterns exist? Do you think I'm exaggerating? Well, nearly 80% of US dollars in existence have been printed since 2020, in the last few years. It's not a typo, 80% of our economy. So you don't think that the dollar's value is gonna be affected by 80%? Have you noticed prices change by 80%? I haven't. So it looks like the world is still delayed in the effect, but it's inevitable, right? The money is being printed. Now every dollar you have is worth less than 20% of what it was. Prices are going up. They just are. Savings are buying less. And this is the silent robbery of inflation. And the biggest lie you've been sold is that inflation is good. It's not. It looks good, right, when your stock balance grows because inflation is pushing the prices higher. But when costs of living are getting pushed equally as high, when groceries are getting pushed 5% up, and they tell you it's 3% and the market made 6%, that's not really good. Meanwhile, you're beginning to try to escape, but you're essentially being told to just trust the system, just like you have, right? And put your money in a 401k and a Roth or whatever, and just pray that someday you can retire without, eating cat food. Wake the hell up, guys. The path it's not going to fly anymore, just like it did in previous generations, and not the way things are headed. It's not going to get easier. I don't want you to be in a bad position, which is why I'm here, which is why I'm giving you this advice. What's up, Coach Stevie? I'm fired up here because I care. Because I care that you don't get left behind. Because the train is leaving, I see the wheels starting to turn, and I see you not even paying attention to the whistles. Maybe you are and you don't know how to get on the train. So I'm reaching my hand out. I don't want you to become the sucker who did everything right and still lost. The people in charge, the politicians, the banks, they don't care about you. They're looking out for themselves. They're looking out for their families, right? Printing money to bail out their buddies while your savings burn. If you don't take action, if you stay comfortable and complacent, then you will get crushed. And if anything's uncertain, I can promise you that part is certain. So what's the move? How do you escape this rigged game? How do you actually get ahead when the rules keep screwing you over? The true answer? There's no right answer. But I'm about to tell you exactly how it boils down to two things. I always say this. One, get your head on the asset that the greedy bastards can't inflate away. What is that asset? Well, it's Bitcoin. I know you hear this all the time and you've never taken it seriously. And you've always heard about people making money off it. But maybe it's time to wake up and understand how it works. And two, build yourself a cash flow machine, a business that pumps out income independent of your time so you can keep investing and living life on your terms. And I'm gonna explain how this system works in a second. But this is the blueprint. This is the only option I see for real because it's decentralized and it creates lasting wealth in the future. Because you can trust that the institution behind it, which in this case is no institution or a business that you entirely control, is determining your future. Sounds bold, right? Damn right it's bold. It's also real. That's why. Because the best options for you are the ones that are the least talked about. I know it sounds scammy, right? It sounds scammy to me, but I'm making a lot of money doing these things. And it's really just a simple formula if you think about it at the end of the day. I'm gonna break it all down for you step by step right now. So stay with me. This might be the most important 20 minutes of your life. Let's get into it. Bitcoin, the future's only true asset. Let's start with Bitcoin just because that's the cornerstone of all of this. Bitcoin is not just another investment, right? It's a get rich quick scheme. It's no, get that out of your head before we move any further. It's a revolution in how we store and transfer value. If you think about money, right? Money has always been a way to store value. It's represented gold, typically. Before we broke the gold standard in 1984 in August, I think on the 12th of August, 1984, when Nixon made the announcement to take us off. Money is always representing gold, and gold has always been roughly limited, right? They're mining it every day, but relatively speaking, compared to the amount that exists globally, it's very slowly growing. So it's kind of controlled growth. The value represents the labor of the people who had to dig it up. It represents the labor of the companies that have to spend energy, spend utility to bring it out of nothing. So gold is always going to have a value because you can't just find it in bricks on the street, right? If you are, it's probably a very bad environment. You're hidden to probably get out of that environment. Maybe you're in the cartel area. It's a revolution of how we store, though, and measure value. It's also the only asset that I see that has a mathematically certain future. In a world of financial uncertainty, that's just not hype, that's facts. 21 million is the number you need to care about. That's the absolute cap on how many Bitcoin will ever exist. No matter how much demand there is, no matter what happens, there is and will never be more than 21 million coins. Nobody can print more. Nobody can dilute it. Compare that to the US dollar or any fiat currency. Fiat kind of essentially means fake, right? Means that they can be created, by the trillions on a whim. And they have. We just talked about that, right? Bitcoin supply is fixed, written in code, and guaranteed. So as more people get added to the economy that participate in Bitcoin, as more value gets added to the world, while Bitcoin stays capped in supply and demand, right? If there's the same amount of something, but the demand for it goes up, supply, demand, right? So if supply stays the same on the curve, here's our starting point, supply stays the same out here, and demand goes up, well, then the curve is going to be higher. The price is going to go up, right? And that's measuring your price. It's digital, yes, but don't get that twisted, right? Bitcoin is harder than gold in a lot of ways. It's digital gold on steroids. I mean, think about the benefits of it. Even gold's supply increases when miners dig more, but Bitcoin is zero inflation once it hits it's all mined. Only 19.8 million Bitcoins have already been mined as of this year, leaving less than about 1.2 million yet to be created. We've already hit about 94% of the cap. Think about what that means. The window to accumulate Bitcoin for the rest of the world truly wakes up is closing very quickly. And let me tell you something about all other cryptocurrencies and why I care about Bitcoin in particular. I'm not here to shit on Ethereum or whatever altcoin you're into, Dogecoin, but there are not Bitcoin for a reason. Most of them don't have a fixed supply. There's billions of them. And therefore, when you're saying they can get up to Bitcoin's price, they can't. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. When there's 300 billion of something, well, it's like 1/10,000th as rare, right? So why would you invest in it? They can change the rules, they can print more tokens, or they can rely on some other foundation or leader who can alter the project's direction on a whim because of the massive supply. Ethereum, for example, doesn't have a hard cap like Bitcoin does. Many cryptos are basically just tech startups. They might succeed, right? They might fall, they might get regulated out of existence or replaced by something new. More importantly, they can issue more shares by issuing more coins into the economy if they needed to. Bitcoin can't. Bitcoin stands alone as the most decentralized, battle-tested, secure digital asset out there with the largest world cap. And again, in many ways of new things, if you're the first mover and the most significant value, you're going to be the one that stays around. It's been running around nonstop since January 3rd, 2009. No CEO, no company, no weak point to attack, right? It's the honey badger of money. It doesn't give a fuck. Remember that meme, guys? Honey badger, right? It just keeps going. That's why I say Bitcoin is the only asset that really matters for the future. Because when everything is either inflating or shaky or controlled by someone, Bitcoin is solid. And that's going to matter more than ever moving into a very uncertain future. Picture the world in 10 years from now. Do you honestly think dollars or euros or yen, right, will buy you more than they do today? Things will cost more. So will your ability to purchase it go up or down? Hell no. The same dollar is going to purchase a tenth of what it would in 10 years. Governments will keep printing, prices will keep climbing, and your money will keep losing. But Bitcoin, by design, it's deflationary. There's less now new Bitcoin at this point every 4 years because of the halving, if you've heard of it. Bitcoin's essentially the ability for it to get mined and put into the economy gets cut in half every 4 years. We just saw that in April of 2020. We saw it in April, or that was about February of 2020. Yeah. And then we saw it in April of 2024. And then usually the year after the halving in 2025, that fall is when you see massive price increases, which we are right now. Demand increases, supply growth decreases, and then it stops, right? Because there's less being added at the same rate. A lot of miners have to quit, and therefore you're not pumping as much new Bitcoin in. And then the value of people buying it catches up and it drives the price higher. It's a simple economics, right? The value must adjust over time, right? If adoption continues. So in a decade, Bitcoin is going to be woven into the global system. And it kind of even is. It's already got a $2 trillion market cap, which is the same as Apple. Possibly the standard for storing value or even exchanging it. Do you think Apple's going anywhere? No. So why would you not trust Bitcoin anymore? And here's the kicker. When that time comes, you either have your stack or you don't. If you had 1 Bitcoin, you can invest and get 1 Bitcoin. You own 1/21 millionth of the global supply of money. I'll tell you, there's a lot more damn people in the US than that. And we're 4% of the world's population. If you have some, even a single coin, you are in the game massively. And if you have a lot, you're part of the new wealthy elite, my friend. Now, I can hear the skeptics, but Bitcoin is volatile. But what if it crashes? What if the government bans it? Volatility is the price of admission for an asset that has exploded 10, 50, 100 times repeatedly in value in just over a decade. Yeah, it swings. It can drop 50% in a few months and still be up 10% for a few years prior, right? 10 times even. Zoom out. The trend is clear. As for bans, essentially, and going with that, every time a country tries to kill Bitcoin, Bitcoin doesn't even flinch because it's global. China banned mining. Bitcoin kept chugging and it hit new highs. Some bureaucrats in the US mutter about regulations. Bitcoin still gets adopted by banks and billionaires and politicians the whole time. You can't ban an idea whose refuses to die and whose time has come. And Bitcoin's time is definitely here. So bottom line, get yourself some damn Bitcoin. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? It's 2025, right? Buying Bitcoin is easier than buying a stock. Just download an app like Coinbase, right? Or Cash App, do a quick ID verify, and then you can buy it. Go on Robinhood, right? You can start with $50 if that's all you have. The important thing is to start. Stacks stats, right? Satoshis, small little fractions of a Bitcoin are going to be the purchasing power of the future. A Satoshi is, by the way, 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So when there's 21 million Bitcoins, you're essentially buying you're buying a fifth of a Bitcoin. Sorry, of 1 Bitcoin. So it'd be 100 millionth of 1 Bitcoin. I had that number confused in my head. So we're talking about microcosm amounts of money right now. It's gonna be less than pennies, but Bitcoin also is likely to grow insanely in the future. So Satoshis, sats, are likely gonna be the purchasing power moving around the globe in those little amounts of Bitcoin at a regular rate in the future. But so when you see that you're putting $1,000 in, you're only purchasing like 0.008 Bitcoin and it feels like nothing. That's not how that works, right? It cares about the dollar supply of your Bitcoin, which I can tell you, if you dollar cost average into it, and you treat it like your life depends on it, it does. Financially, it will. And again, this is not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm obviously not your financial advisor. I'm just a guy in a black t-shirt who's sick of asking and seeing people why they're screwing themselves by ignoring this. I want you to be on the winning side of this financial revolution, not stuck holding a bag of worthless paper because you were too tired or lazy to act. And honestly, I really don't give a shit if you buy it, but I'd like to see you. because I already hold Bitcoin. Sure, my value goes up if you buy more, but honestly, major institutions with trillions of dollars are buying Bitcoin. So if you put your 40 bucks in, I really don't give a shit. It's not going to affect it. I'm just telling you this is your only option. And you're going to say, well, what am I going to do with $200 worth of Bitcoin if that's all I can afford? Well, you keep buying more. Do you not understand? This is your retirement account. You never sell Bitcoin and you keep access to those funds. I'm going to show you how. So now once you have Bitcoin, the rule is simple. Never fucking sell. HODL, right? You'll hear HODL or HODL forever, right? Why? Never? Really? Never? How do I use the money, right? If I'm just investing, I can't afford to lock away my funds. Well, that's right. You're not going to lock away your funds. You're still going to use the money to buy stuff. And you're not going to have to sell your Bitcoin either. We're playing the long game here. I don't care if it spikes to 500,000 a coin and you're tempted to buy a Lamborghini. Find another fucking way. Because the global goal around any investor is to accumulate and hold Bitcoin for the day, or selling it will be as stupid as selling your left kidney. Think like the rich. The wealthy don't sell their assets. They leverage them. They buy real estate, they buy stocks, whatever it is. They borrow against those assets to get cash for living and investing, so they never trigger taxes or give up their upside. It's called buy, borrow, die. You've seen videos on that. Buy assets, borrow against them, never sell, place them in investments. That's how empires are built. By the way, you can do the same thing with Bitcoin, and that's exactly why I'm talking about it. This isn't some theoretical thing. It's happening. I'm actually doing that right now. Big exchanges and banks are literally offering loans, including Coinbase, at like 5%, which is very, very low for money on demand. You can hand over your Bitcoin as collateral, never sell it. The bank holds onto it, but it's still in your account. And I trade 10,000 in Bitcoin into the bank to hold onto for a while. That's still my property. It's just being held against the loan. And then they go give me $7,000, $8,000 that I put into the stock market. And then the stock market blows up because we're about to hit a huge financial recession and the dollar value of things is going to go up massively, but my debt is fixed at $8,000. And that 8,000 goes to like $10,000 or $12,000 because I actually put it in things that were important, right? Or sorry, I guess technically it could, but it doesn't even need to do that, right? I take out a loan for $8,000. Maybe I owe $8,400 after fees. The market takes it to like $9,000. And then I take that $600 extra and buy more Bitcoin and pay back the loan. And then I do it again and over. Because the debt that I get, the $8,000 that I get handed from the bank as a loan, do you pay tax on the loan? Do you pay tax to borrow money? Do you pay tax to use someone else's money? No, I don't report that as income. So why would you not just keep Bitcoin, spend your hard-earned money on Bitcoin that you've already paid tax on, and then use that to get free money that isn't taxed? And then the only time you pay taxes on when you take that debt and make money with it. Now you have $100,000 to play with that you never had to borrow from someone and pay income tax on or something to put in your bank account. They just give you cash for stable coins, right? Coinbase, for example, pretty much a household name in crypto, right? We can all trust them. Will let you instantly borrow a US dollar coin, which is the digital version of the dollar in crypto form, by using your Bitcoin as collateral, as I just said. Of a recent update, right? You can borrow up to $1 million in minutes. Without selling a single Satoshi or part of a Bitcoin. Read that again, guys. You can get a fat loan in up to a minute, which I've done. I did this yesterday without giving up your Bitcoin. This is a game changer. And you can continuously do it. There's not a loan document process. You don't have to sit down at a bank with someone. You just put your 20,000 in Bitcoin, you pull 10 out, you owe 10,500 after your fees, right? A 5% fee. And then you put in the market and it turns into 14 grand because the market's just printing money right now. And then you buy more Bitcoin with that. You should not see how this is infinite banking without the scammy ass life insurance policies. You don't need to do this anymore. So stop buying into life insurance and stop buying into all the scammy things and just buy Bitcoin, which remains yours forever. Why am I so hyped about against Bitcoin? Well, because it literally solves the liquidity problem while keeping your hold intact. You can do both now. If Bitcoin is mooning, you don't need 10K for something, right? You don't have to sell and miss out of the next leg up and likely probably regret it forever, right? 5% is a very low interest rate. The market can outperform that in a year. So you're literally getting free money to invest and make more Bitcoin off of if you want. Instead, you post your Bitcoin as collateral, you get the 10K loan, right? And do what you need to do, whether it's buying a car, funding your business, whatever. Your Bitcoin stays invested. It's probably growing over time. You get cash in hand. It's not a taxable event. No saying goodbye to your golden goose. And sure, yes, you'll pay some interest, but so what? You're already paying interest by holding dollars that are losing value. Do you not see that? Interpret that as a small price for the upside that you retain. And if Bitcoin continues its, historical trend, the appreciation of it, your Bitcoin outpaces the interest by a mile. Inflation is eating the value of your loan anyway, as we said. If you really think about it, you're paying them back in dollars that are worth less and less every year. Leverage the system to your advantage. So think about that fact, right? If I have 10,000 in Bitcoin and then I get an $8,000 loan, the Bitcoin's likely going up in value because the dollar is going down. So that 10,000 of Bitcoin probably turns into like 11,000, right, in a year potentially. Meanwhile, that 8,000 debt goes to 8,500 with interest. But that $8,500, right, because the dollar is worth less money, is really like $7,000 because it lost an insane amount of value. It's probably more like $7,800, right? So it's technically going down in the fiat currency and the value of the Bitcoin's going up. So I just created more free wealth there. It's like real estate appreciating, but I don't need millions of dollars to get into real estate. I'm not telling you to go crazy, right? Take loans up to your eyeballs. If you can manage that risk, go ahead. Especially this fall, I think altcoins and Bitcoin's going to see a huge spike. It's already doing that if you don't believe me. I had predicted this over a year and a half ago, and I'm massively benefiting from this market movement. And again, my plan isn't even to sell. My plan is just to take loans out against my Bitcoin, put it into Ascend, put it into my other businesses, let the market do its thing, outperform the loan that I have, and then take the excess and buy Bitcoin when it dips again in probably a year or so. You have to manage risk, right? If Bitcoin's price dips hard, you can't have all your money, in debt, or they're going to liquidate the Bitcoin and you're going to lose anyway. Typically, you take about 50 to 30, usually really safely 30 to 50% of the money in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's usually not going to drop 70% in value. It might go down like 30%, 40%, right? So borrow up to like half of your Bitcoin. And then use that, right? You don't want to borrow 99% of your Bitcoin, because then if it passes 100% use, right? If Bitcoin drops to 10% and then the loan is worth more than your Bitcoin, well, the bank's not going to hold that as collateral. They're going to cash it in and pay back their loan. So you want to treat that leverage aspect wisely. Borrowing against Bitcoin gives you access to capital, though, without selling your future. And for the first time in human existence, you don't have to be a millionaire to do this. Think about the power in that. Think like a businessman here, more importantly. Again, tax-free money from debt. You've got an asset, Bitcoin, that historically has gone up like crazy over multi-year periods. I've said we're at 18 million and the max is 21. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin's even close to done growing, because Bitcoin is only just growing in terms of popularity around the world, and only 24% of American adults hold some sort of crypto. And we're one of the only countries that are like that. So Bitcoin makes up about a $2 trillion of market cap, and they predict it to be as big as gold, meaning gold is about 20 trillion. So it would 10x Bitcoin's price, let alone the dollar deflates at the same time. You're talking about probably about 20 to 50x the price of Bitcoin, meaning $2 to $5 million pretty easily, guys. I genuinely believe that, just because of economics and fixed supply. If you believe in it like I do, you want to hold on as much as possible, as long as possible. By borrowing against it, you unlock money to deploy elsewhere while your Bitcoin keeps doing its thing. It's like taking a loan out against a property. Again, the property will skyrocket in value. To invest in another property, right? It's a business. You can use that money. You're expanding your empire using assets as collateral. That's how the wealthiest people in the world operate. And now ordinary folks can get on it too with the right asset. You think Elon Musk is selling billions of dollars of stock and paying tax on that to get money? No. He's just going to the bank and saying, here's 50 billion in stock. I'd like to take 30 billion as a loan to buy Twitter, and I'll pay that back with Twitter's earnings. And therefore, he still has the 50 million in stock. Do you not understand that's how it works? And he probably gets very low interest rates at like 2% because he has great relationships with a bank and he has a lot of money. People will be tripping over themselves to get a guaranteed 2% return on $50 billion with inflation. So to recap this part, step 1, buy Bitcoin, accumulate it, find a way. Step 2, don't sell it. Step 3, you need cash, borrow against it instead. Buy, borrow, die. Use someone else's money, the loan, to fund what you need, while your Bitcoin is sitting there patiently waiting to make you a millionaire in the future. And never, ever ask yourself when you're going to sell it, or that the price is good or the price is dipping. I don't give a shit what Bitcoin costs. I know it's going up in the long term. So when I see it spike up or down, the only thing I'll look at is what percent of my loan am I collateralized. So if it's $5,000, if Bitcoin was $100,000, right? And I had half of my Bitcoin supply of 100,000. Maybe I owned one Bitcoin, and I used 80,000 of it on a loan. Then if Bitcoin drops 15%, and it's 85,000 now, I have to be worried, because if it crosses below 80, I'm going to have to sell it. So I'm going to put more money into Bitcoin. That's the only time I look at the price. But this way, you never kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, right? And again, long term, I know Bitcoin's going to hit a few million. And if I can own even like half of a Bitcoin, right, which most of you, that should be a goal, that's going to be $500,000. That's your retirement, right? And to buy half a Bitcoin now is 50 grand. You can either transfer that from your retirement, or you can just put that in a cash over the next few years while it's still growing. It makes sense? Because now we're going to move to the most critical part of this equation. What do you do with the borrowed money or any money you have? How do you actively build wealth by taking money out and hedging it against the Bitcoin you're holding so you can outperform the loan and also buy more Bitcoin with? Well, that's where the cash flow machine comes in. Here's the problem with traditional assets and why you particularly need cash flow. Before I dive into building your cash flow business, I just want to hammer something in real quick. Traditional assets and plans, the 401k and stuff, are not going to save you, especially when the dollar's losing value so fast. Market could do great. It could grow 8%, but when the dollar's losing 10% of its value, you might hear 3%. You'll hear 3% inflation in a year. That's not true. The government's lying. It's not correct. Financial reports are not accurate. The spending power in the last year has decreased by 10%, and they've said inflation went up 3 to 4%. You're literally being lied to about inflation. Don't listen to every source you hear. I'm talking about your stocks, your bonds, your house, your 401k. All of that is being taxed 10% without your consent because you don't see the tax. And that's regardless. Your money might already have been taxed. It's being taxed again by inflation, by losing value to purchase it. Now, not saying those things are worthless, right? Real estate will probably benefit from the dollar losing value and therefore housing prices going up because of that. I only see real estate continuing to grow. There's no bubble, so shut up about that. But compared to what we're facing, they're woefully inadequate. Some of you, or most of you, right, have your net worth in a retirement account diligently diversified in index funds. And you think that's going to carry you through the next 30 to 40 years. Well, with the way the dollar is being printed and devalued, with how the market is basically propped up by endless money printing and, 0% interest party that can't last? No. We already talked about inflation. Officially, it's what? 7% one year, 6% the next, 10% in actual costs of living. Unofficially, if you count housing, education, healthcare, property, it's higher, like I've said. Either way, it outpaces the returns of the safe market investments. You're not really growing your money in the market, like they say. Savings accounts, don't make me laugh. You get maybe 1 to 2% interest at best, if you're lucky. Well, again, inflation eats 7% of that. Bonds, you lock your money up to earn what? Maybe 3 to 4% is not liquid, still negative, real yield asset with inflation, after inflation. Stocks historically 8% a year, which barely keeps up with true inflation. And that's your rocket ship to take you to the moon to build wealth if you don't hit a lost decade or a crash. Plus, stocks can absolutely crash 50%. Look at 2008, look at the COVID pandemic. So don't say that stocks are safe, just don't. They're riding the same fiat roller coaster and they're still tied to the dollar. Well, Bitcoin is backed by yen, it's backed by yuan, it's backed by Swiss francs. It's backed by global demand. And sure, the dollar is too, but the dollar is also being printed. Bitcoin isn't. And real estate could be a decent asset, I'll say. I'll give you, that is tangible. It's limited in prime locations, etc. Right? There's only so much Miami Beach. But guess what? Real estate is not liquid. It's often heavily leveraged, mortgages, high fees. You have to pay to maintain it. You have to put a lot of manual labor into keeping it up to date. And it's dependent on low interest rates. Not only that, but it's hard to sell. You have to get lucky you find a buyer that wants to pay you what you're asking for it. Bitcoin, you constantly know the price of it. If inflation stays high, interest rates can go up and real estate can stagnate or drop, or your property taxes and maintenance costs keep coming in. And again, usually you have to wait years before you can take a loan against real estate. Bitcoin, you can do that as soon as you buy it. And they don't have to vet your credit or anything. One person can go buy, enough real estate though, but they need a ton of money to get in. And they have to have a credit score built up. And Bitcoin doesn't require you to fix the toilet at 2 a.m. or deal with tenants. So the old retirement path, right? Work 40 years, save a chunk of each paycheck, invest in a balanced portfolio, and then retire on the nest egg. I'm sorry, but that road is leading off a cliff. It assumes a world where money, is constant. That no longer exists, where moderate investment returns outpaced inflation, where companies provided pensions and benefits, where Social Security wasn't, insolvent, essentially. We're not in that world anymore, Toto. We're not in Kansas. In our world, currency is a funny money. Everything is on fucking fire financially, and you're about to be on your own without a lifeboat. I'm being harsh because I kind of want to slap you the fuck awake. Do not rely on the old system to carry you. If you guys do, you're going to end up like so many boomers now working at Walmart, right? You see the greeters at Walmart that are 70 and you feel bad when they're saying welcome because, their pension and their savings turn into dust. I'm worried about my parents, guys. You think I'm kidding? Go to your grocery store in Florida at 9 a.m. on a weekday, right? See those elderly folks bagging groceries? They didn't plan to be there. They planned to go to Florida to retire. Finances got cut. They had their house already. They got to pick up a job. They thought they'd done enough, but life said nope. So you need something more, something that grows faster than inflation, something that isn't capped by an hourly wage or a fixed return. You have to have cash flow and growth. And yes, you have Bitcoin, right, for long-term wealth storage. But unless you already have millions in Bitcoin, you can't just sit on your ass and wait. You've got to be making money today that you can continuously funnel into investments like buying more Bitcoin or other productive assets like Ethereum around it. Sure, you can diversify in crypto. You need a vehicle to generate serious cash in the new economy. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm telling you about the stock market in 1918, before it was even really that big, maybe 1912. Crypto is going to be the new stock market because it's a fixed thing. So you can still buy stocks, but you're probably going to end up buying and cashing them in with crypto instead of dollars. I can tell you that that's probably going to be a case in the future. The vehicle I'm talking about to make money and to buy more Bitcoin is a business. It's not, a stodgy brick and mortar, right? That just exists, some sort of constant startup, right? That requires $1 million in funds. I'm talking about an online business, something that's automated, that's printable, that's scaling, that's running 24/7, even if you have a job, a digital money printing machine, something that you can relatively control with low cost from your laptop, and something that has the potential to earn thousands as soon as this month, right? If you crank it up. Now, hold on though. I'm not pitching some get rich quick bullshit. I'm tired of that shit online. This isn't sign up and money rains from the sky. You know me better than most, right? And if you do now, right, I don't really deal in fantasies. It takes I would say months, honestly, and a ton of work to get set up in a basic business. It takes learning skills. It takes trying to find the right, job market and customer base. It takes failing. It takes putting in the effort. But compared to working 40 hours for 40 years in a job, building an online business is by far superior, especially when you have an investment to put it in that will 20, 50x and leverage the money you're building today at a low rate. So you don't have to do that. You can collapse timeframes, potentially replace your 9-to-5 income in a year or two instead of 30. Most importantly, you're building an asset, something that can grow and sustain itself without you trading hours for dollars. Here's the beautiful part too. We live in 2025. We have fucking AI on our team. That's what I specialize in at Ascend. Do you realize how huge that is? We have tools now. I've created a business that is financial agents that can run and operate your business, send emails, check in with customers, manage client invoicing, all by itself. You hit a button and it works. It's an employee. And you don't have to hire them. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't need to eat. It doesn't complain. And they work for free or cheap. This is insane leverage that previous generations never had. 10 years ago, starting an online business was already the smart move to reach financial freedom. But today with AI, it's the smart move on steroids. You'd be insane not to use this, to print money to buy more Bitcoin and massively, right, infinitely snowball scale this process we talked about. Let me paint a picture. In the old days, right, to run a business, you needed people to do customer service, people to create marketing, people to write sales copy, to design graphics, videos, all of that. Now you can automate 80% of that the same day you start. And you can have results. You can have a chat bot handling customer support, booking calls intelligently 24/7. We actually built that tool. It's called SetterBot. You can have AI writing your marketing copy and blog posts in seconds. Things that used to take whole teams of writers. You can generate images and design work with a click. You can analyze huge data sets or strategy insights from AI instead of hiring an experienced consultant. This isn't science fiction. This is real right now. You can do this in ChatGPT. What does that mean for you? Well, if it means that you could be a solopreneur and take down massive old corporations, it means one person or a small team of people can accomplish what used to require 100 people. The playing field is level. There's no actual tiltedness in anybody's favor anymore if you embrace these tools. While big corporations are slow to adapt, you plug AI into a system and you outcompete them from day one. Content creation, lead generation, customer follow-up, even parts of coding and product development, automate that shit. We do that with Ascend. It's $29 a month or free to learn about. Your business becomes a self-driving car with you as the navigator choosing the direction of. Let's get specific for a second. Let's just say you want to start an e-commerce business or a marketing agency maybe, or sell an online course, whatever it is, or do affiliate marketing. Think of the tasks involved. Building a website, writing content, making ads, reaching out to potential clients, handling emails, doing social media posts, providing customer support. Today, you can automate or AI assist every single one of those things. There are AI generators where you can just feed text in and it gives you a polished video ad. Google VO, right? We all know what that is. We've seen the videos on social media. There are automation tools that take a new sales lead and walk them through the entire process of sales. Again, Ascend provides that tool to you. And a chatbot can be answering a customer in Germany while you're still snoozing and having to otherwise pull up Google Translate and figure out what the fuck they're talking about. If this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Maybe you've never done, business online and it sounds foreign, but trust me, this is the path to freedom, right? There are AI bots that can handle calls or inquiries. Stuff is wild. And the result of it is, again, you can literally make money while you sleep. Never have done business online again. And it sounds crazy, right? In Germany, while you're snoozing, having that bot answer your stuff. I don't know what will, but again, trust me, this is the path to freedom. I've looked at everything and I can tell you with pure certainty, this is the only true option. And I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow, but start building something on the side now because it's going to overlap, right? Especially with jobs getting laid off to AI. Every dollar of profit your online business makes is more money you can invest into Bitcoin, for instance. And that as that business grows, right, you can leverage loans against Bitcoin to free up more money, to make more money on the stock market, to put back into your business, to put back into Bitcoin. And then you eventually shift to a point where you have a money-making machine and you have a stockpile of Bitcoin that are both growing each other. And you're sovereign. You don't need anybody but yourself. Eventually replacing your job, you can go full-time entrepreneur. That might be the only option with AI challenging everything. This is how you can escape the rat race in the modern world. Not by slaving for a promotion, not by penny pinching lattes, but by creating a new income stream with unlimited upside. You might say, but I don't know how to start. I'm not techie. AI is confusing. What business do I pick? Well, these are legit questions. A lot of people have analysis paralysis, right? And they jump into shiny things. They pick different businesses. They can't stick with them. You don't want to waste years figuring this out by trial and error, like many had to do in the first place. I've had to do that. There's a smarter way, and I'm going to tell you about it because it, ties everything we discussed together: Bitcoin, business, AI, and not missing the boat entirely. So what is it? Well, it's Ascend, your automated cash vehicle. This is where I propose the solution, our solution to get you on the fast track. Now, I'm not going to lie, right? This is our baby. We've poured our blood, sweat, tears all into this thing. And on August 1st, we're officially launching it to the world. It's still in beta mode. If you've been listening to me or following anything I've said, you probably heard me tease this already. Well, here's the lowdown. The Ascend community is essentially a private vault, the platform, the SaaS tool, I guess, built by operators, which is people like me, us, people that have actually done the hard stuff of coaching, of running e-commerce businesses. I've sold e-commerce businesses. I've had coaching clients. I've done all of this stuff. Combination of plug and play AI tools, battle-tested strategies, and a network of like-minded winners who are all printing their own digital income without need of a job. And frankly, that's why we built this, because nothing out there really hit the mark. There's a million courses and gurus selling stuff. Screw that. We wanted to make the final boss solution. It's a one-stop shop to ascend your life, no pun intended, hence the phrase, by harnessing AI and smart business models. You might be paying for ChatGPT, but if you think that's the only tool out there, you are completely mistaken. We've been able to harness ChatGPT to help power our algorithms, but then we take that and apply that to get tasks done in the most efficient way, creating AI employees to run your business for one fee. It's insane. You don't just get a response, you actually get the results of that response. Again, we've sifted through the bullshit. We've tested tools. We spent thousands of dollars perfecting systems. The Ascend software is the distilled result of that. When you join, you're getting a blueprint that shows you exactly how to set up an automated business step by step in anything, right? Real estate, consulting, coaching, marketing agency, e-commerce, drop shipping, content creation, whatever it is. You're getting the actual tools, many of which we custom built or had plugged into leveraging other softwares like GPT or Gemini or VO, right? That you can literally plug and play to start running your ops. You're getting coaching and community. There's a bunch of us doing this. We have our own community platform, meaning you're not entirely alone in this. You have a tribe of people who know what to do to back you up and to show you how to make money and sharing what's working right now. Let me be clear again. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't an investment that you can just write off. You have to pay attention to it. You have to do work and you have to figure it out. It will require you to put in effort, especially in the beginning as you learn and build. But if you have the right community and as we make it as straightforward as possible, it's much safer than slaving away for a 401k that won't be worth anything. It's like we're handing you a franchise money printing machine, money making machine that you can tailor to any industry. And if you have to do that, all you have to really do with it is follow it up, right? Follow the instructions, personalize it to your style, and flip the on switch. Why am I so confident about this? Well, because we built it for ourselves and we're using it. It's pushing our own systems out. If you've talked to me on Instagram, you've noticed that my AI assistant is talking to you to book you on a call or to bring you into the community. It's selling my stuff to you and convincing you about all the benefits of our services 24 hours a day. And we want to save 20 hours a week in our business that we would have to do that stuff otherwise. Talking to you guys. So we know this works. We've proven it. It's available to you. The Ascend software is essentially handing you the same arsenal that we use to free ourselves. It's up to you to use it. So not only are we providing value to ourselves by working on tools that we can use to help build our software in our own business, but you guys can just take those and replicate those across any industry and make an insane amount of money. So again, we guide you how to build a business that could, potentially spit out thousands a month. If you put, say, X dollars into the Ascend membership, right, or something that yields 5, 10, 100X in a year, that's an infinite return investment over time, right? Because you're constantly providing value and you never know when the end of that is. You might sell it for millions of dollars someday. Meanwhile, you take those profits and what do? You buy more Bitcoin. You stockpile it. You see how the puzzle fits together, right? The accumulation of your lifestyle. The Bitcoin gives you value. You leverage it to invest into businesses like your own and other assets. And the cycle continues. Printing more money, buying more Bitcoin, taking more loans out, tax-free money, putting it into your business, or just spending it on your Lamborghini or whatever you get. That's how you escape the paycheck trap and join the ultra wealthy. You aren't slaves to a wage or pension that might not exist in 20 years, when Bitcoin's also worth $20 million a coin. So I'm gonna be brutally honest. I believe that this is the only viable path that I see forward for those who truly want financial freedom. It's no joke, right? It's just, I don't see any other option that can compete with this massive, opportunity. It isn't a gamble for your future. If you stick with the old traditional path, I will tell you that you're betting that the whole corrupt, creaking financial system magically fixes itself and pays out for you. Does that sound more realistic than trusting something with a fixed mathematical formula and a massive global supply? Because it's too volatile and I have to time it right so I can get out. And I've already said we're never going to sell Bitcoin. We're just going to use it to buy things that make more Bitcoin. Good luck with that, guys. If that's your vision, if you try to ignore money and just live your life, you'll find out the hard way that money is a factor, whether you like it or not. Everything's getting more and more expensive and more competitive. If you dabble in random side hustles without a cohesive strategy, you'll burn out for peanuts. If you just YOLO into meme coins or day trading, right, you're probably going to get wrecked 99% of the time. So what I'm presenting here is business plus AI supercharged by the Ascend software. That's it. That's all you need. The holy grail combo. Hardest asset plus hardest powered income engine, right? Store of value and a cash flow to build it, and vice versa. Future proof. AI powered and it's in your control. No boss, no central bank, no bullshit, no BS, right? I guess I can say bullshit. Just you building your empire with the tools and the knowledge and community to actually help you use it, including me, the person who fucking built it. I'm active in the chats every single day. So now this is the opportunity. We act or we miss out. Because you're wondering, how do I start, right? Now, if your heart isn't pounding a little right now, right? Either I failed to wake you up, and I didn't put enough stress on the issue because it is really stressful, or communicate that you need to check your pulse, right? It's okay. There's just a way out of this, but I need to show you how to do it. Because this is, right, at the end of the day, exciting stuff. Make sure my mic was on. But excitement means jack shit if you don't actually take action. And this is where we separate the wannabes from the gonna-bees. You must act, and act now. Opportunity is knocking so loud, but it won't wait forever. Bitcoin, the window to buy early-ish, I guess, is still open. It would have been better to buy at 20K, but it's closing bit by bit every single day. Every day, more institutions are coming in, more mainstream adoption is happening. The price might today be whatever it is. It might seem high, but in 5 years, you're gonna look back and be, damn, it was only 120,000. That was so cheap. If you have any idea, right, that's how it has been working recently. If you don't accumulate now, you'll either never catch up or you'll have to buy later in multiples of today's money. And that doesn't sound like good business to me. Do you want to be the guy who said in 2030, yeah, I heard about Bitcoin at 100,000 in 2025, but I thought it was a bit risky. I thought that was the max. I didn't think it could get higher. I thought it might crash. Congratulations, you played yourself. Once again, multiple cycles of Bitcoin later, so don't be that guy. Same now with online business landscape. Right now, we're in this golden age of AI and internet entrepreneurship. Well, the playing field is wide open and anyone can make money. But it's getting more crowded every single month. Those who build their systems now will have a massive advantage when the world gets in. Those who wait will be scrambling to catch up, and you'll ride the wave of their efforts. And let's face it, AI is going to put a lot of people out of jobs. We've already seen this. That's the flip side. You can be on the side that uses AI to thrive and print more money, or the side that gets replaced and left in the dust. It's a very harsh reality. It's Darwinism, it's survival of the fittest, but a real one. The next few years are a land grab in the digital world for the audience, for market share, for influence. If you establish your digital presence and automated income now, you'll be laughing while others cry that robots took our jobs, right? And if you sit on your ass, you might be the one crying. I know it sounds intense, but I kind of mean for it to be intense because regret is even more intense. And I want you guys to avoid that regret. That's why I'm here. I don't want you emailing me in 5 years saying, man, I wish I listened to you back then. I'm screwed now. I'm effed. I want to hear success stories. I want to hear I took action. I joined up. I built it. And now I'm financially free. That's what I live for, guys. That's why I'm here on YouTube. That's why I'm somewhat yelling at you like a lunatic. It's just tough love. So here's what you need to do right now. 1, start accumulating Bitcoin. Even if it's $50, a small amount, you're in the game, right? Start today. Open an exchange on Coinbase or Robinhood, whatever it is, and just start buying a little bit every week. Cut your food in supply short. Don't go get the nice meals. It's a hard economic time, so put what little extra you have into Bitcoin. Whatever you got to do to start stacking, just do it. Guys, I could be eating really nice right now, but I'm still drinking my small protein shakes and just enough to get by so I can put more money into Bitcoin. I'm literally this bullish on it. Treat it like your future, right? Savings account. It's the cheapest it'll ever be. It's like Black Friday. You're buying Bitcoin at an insane discount for the next 10 or 20 years. Imagine if I told you right now, if you gave me $1, I will give you $50 in 5 years. How many dollars would you find to give me if I told you that it was guaranteed? And it is. And then again, lock up somewhere safe. Like put your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet, put it in Coinbase where you can loan, figure out how to use one, at least a trusted platform, and then you just start leveraging it, right? Step 2, that's how we build our cash flow. Once we have the Bitcoin stored, we need to take the loans and put it into our business. Again, I told you to join the Ascend platform that's launching on August 1st. Mark your calendar, set an alarm, tattoo it on your arm, whatever you guys have to do. Just go to Ascend Agency, ASCEND agency.io instead of .com, and get yourself on whatever waitlist we have right now, or just be ready. On August 1st, on launch day, jump in with both feet. Whatever you're in, guys, as soon as you get in, devour the materials, join the community, connect with the platform, ask questions, and start building immediately. We'll show you guys exactly how to go from zero to running an online business. But you have to take that step and join. That's it. There's 2 steps: Bitcoin, money, and then business, right? With that money leading into the second part. That's the wealth vehicle that's going to get you rich. I promise you that. That's the new formula in the future. I'm telling you guys it with the biggest free money ever, which is, I'm telling you, 20 years before Bitcoin hits $20 million. And nothing will change in your life if you don't make a change. Listening to me rant can light a fire under your ass, but you have to do something with that. You have to burn that, that brush down with the fire under your ass. It's now. It's not last month. It's not next month. It's not after the holidays. It's not whenever you feel ready. It's fucking now. That's your only choice. I'm hyped for those of you who are actually feeling this though, and you guys who are going to act. I'm genuinely excited because I know I'm already in the right game and I'm already on the right side of the effort. I'm seeing Bitcoin growing every day. I'm seeing my loans get paid down. I'm seeing myself compound grow this. The snowball is snowballing for me. I'm living it. I know the freedom. I know the confidence, the security that comes when you have a money-making machine and you have a stack of the hardest asset on earth growing in value. Night and day compared to living paycheck to paycheck, and without worrying about bills, without hoping that the government or pension or lottery will bail you out. Because how much of the time has that actually been the case? Let me tell you, it's not about the money. It's about being in control and sovereign of your own damn life. It's about waking up and knowing that you're building something that you own, that nobody can take from you. And that is aligned with the future. It's about having options to live where you want, take care of the people you want, to work when you want, to enjoy the actual benefits, and to not dance like a puppet on the strings of a job that the government told you to work or that you felt forced to stay into. It's about freedom, plain and simple. And although the system is great, guys, it has a lot of benefits right now, it's not guaranteed. I'm not trying to trash talk the old institutions. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, why not have something you control? And Bitcoin plus a successful online business, like I just said, is equal to freedom in 2025. And you control the supply of both of those. So close with this. Please don't sleep on this opportunity. Please don't be the one who watched others get rich and free while saying, that's got to be the highest price it'll ever be. How many times have you been wrong on that? The universe rewards boldness. And again, all the hedge funds aren't getting in because 20% volatility is still risky when you have billions of consumer dollars to play with. But you guys can take the risk and get in before the price goes up, because volatility means you still have the freedom to keep the price low for now. But eventually when the supply maxes out, it's only going to go up rapidly. And then people are going to be rushing to buy it. So make decisive actions that align with you and be bold. I'm shouting at you guys, again, because I believe in you. I might not know you personally, but if you listen this far, I know we share a common mindset. You guys want something better. I'm physically hungry. I want Panda Express. I'll probably go get that after this. Stay hungry. But again, don't stay starving. Go lead that hunger with action. Bitcoin is waiting for you. The Ascend platform is waiting for you on August 1st, and your future is waiting for you. But it's not going to wait forever. Other people are going to use it before you, likely. They're already using Bitcoin, and they're going to use the Ascend platform if you don't sign up, and they're going to make the money. So stand up, step up, and let's get this done. I'll see you guys on the other side. I'll see you in the Ascend community. I'll be engaging in the chats, and the side of winners, the side of those who did instead of just dreamed. Remember, finally, none of this was actual financial advice. I can't say that. It's just one man's passionate roadmap. Do your own research, and more importantly, do something with it. I'm Caleb Schulke. This is Ascend, and thank you guys for your time. Have a great night.